All right. Okay, so hello everybody, and welcome to the first video of this series on Reassembling Reality, Reframing Science and Religion, which is the first video of the course CCHU 9061 on Science and Religion at the University of Hong Kong. So in this course, we're going to be looking at the relationship between science and religion. And actually what we're going to be doing is to question many of our assumptions on the relationship between science and religion, leading us to come to a new understanding of what is science and of what is religion and what is the relationship between the two. When we talk about science and religion, I think for most of us, we actually know what we're talking about, or we think that we know what we talk about. I think we have a certain idea of what science is, a relatively clear idea, and we also have a certain idea of what religion is. And so when we're talking about the relationship between the two, well, we're talking about the relationship between two things that we think that we basically know. But, well, as you're going to see, we don't quite agree with that. But to start with the conventional discourse on science and religion, as an academic field of study and inquiry, the discourse on science and religion started a few decades ago, and one of the key scholars who theorized the relationship between science and religion was the theologian Ian Barber. And he conceptualized what we now know as the 4 C's in the relationship between science and religion. So these 4 C's being conflict, compartmentalization, conversation, and convergence. So conflict is really the one that I think everybody's most familiar with. So the idea that religion stopped or fought against the new discoveries of science, such as under Galileo, and has always been fighting a rear guard struggle against the progress of science, which will gradually lead to the demise of religion once we have attained the highest levels of scientific progress. Or, conversely, that the world is advancing into a dystopian future because godless corporations and algorithms are controlling our minds and cutting out all of our spirituality, all of the deep meaning that we would have to our life. And so science and religion, whether we stand on the side of science or we stand on the side of religion, the two are in deep conflict with each other. Others, however, have pointed out to the, in a sense, the distinct qualities or the distinct functions of science and religion, and the most notable conceptualization of what we call compartmentalization was the paleontologist, evolutionary biologist Stephen Jay Gould, who talked about the overlapping magisteria, non-overlapping magisteria of science and religion. So science deals with facts, religion deals with values and meaning. Both of them are important, but they should just stay apart from each other. If they mix, that's when we start having problems. So just let the scientists deal with facts, let the religionists or religious believers deal with morality and virtues and meaning. And as long as everybody holds to their territory, everybody's going to be happy and the world will move forward. The next C is conversation. So the idea that, well, actually they shouldn't they are separate, they are distinct, but they shouldn't be so rigidly compartmentalized because a conversation is needed between the two. So as we know, for example, we could talk about issues of ethics. So how should moral values guide the development of science? So this would require a conversation between science and religion, where the scientists are conducting their empirical research and the religious people can provide some moral principles, some ethical guidance, which, if they engage in a productive conversation with scientists, could then help science and religion to advance in beneficial ways. So this is the idea of conversation between science and religion. And the fourth C is the idea of convergence between science and religion. So the idea that actually, ultimately, science and religion lead to the same goal and to the same purpose. And science and religion both being engaged in the search for truth, if we reach to the deepest, most profound insights of science, they will lead us to religious insights. And if we go to the deepest and most profound insights of religion, they will lead us to better understandings of the material world. And so in that sense, science and religion are actually converging together, or they should converge together into one integrated system of knowledge and understanding. So that's the conventional understanding, or the conventional framing of science and religion, that there is something called science and there's something called religion. And so the question is, what kind of relationship should they have? Should it be one of conflict? Should it be one of compartmentalization? Should it be one of conversation? Or should it be one of convergence?